Everybody, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has suggested pausing discussions on a $3.5 trillion spending package up until 2022. What are your thoughts on Social Security, everybody? Should President Biden increase the Social Security benefits? Tell me what you think in the comments below.
Trying to get something good done, ACA, Obamacare, and we didn't do all the other things that had to be done. We will not repeat that mistake.
Now I have some great news surrounding Social Security benefits, everybody, and the stimulus payments. Senators have just proposed a $200 raise for Social Security recipients. The plan will provide more than 60 million Americans with an additional $4,000 over 2 years. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren have unveiled a plan to increase the monthly benefits of Social Security by $200. That's great news, folks. I personally believe that President Biden has to do a better job in helping out our seniors. He must do a better job in increasing the benefits and giving more stimulus checks out to the American people. Because after all, folks, we all know that unemployment benefits came to an end on Labor Day. So many Americans are in desperate need of help. Do you guys agree? Tell me in the comments. Now, veterans and supplemental security income, or SSI and SSDI.
For the last 55 years, since Medicare was developed in 1965, it has not included coverage for dental care, hearing aids, and eyeglasses. And I can tell you, in Vermont and all over this country, you got senior citizens whose teeth are rotting in their mouth, older people who can't talk to their grandchildren because they can't hear them, because they can't afford a hearing aid.
We will not repeat that mistake. You are right. I think of just what you think all along. And it's a different time. The antidote is constructive, strong action by us, by the government. That's the answer, so that when the appeals to bigotry and nastiness and divisiveness are thrown at the American people, people will say, no, we're making good progress. Let's stick with this.
Would improve the lives of millions of Americans and help stabilize the economic recovery. Social Security relies on the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund to pay retirement and survivors benefits. The fund is now expected to be depleted in 2033.
Democrats do not need our help. They have every tool to address the debt limit on their own.
Now, this plan under Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren would give seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities an additional $4,000 over the next 2 years. Now, back in 2019, 64 million Americans received Social Security checks, the majority of whom were retired. Now, let's not forget that Social Security makes up the majority of income for most seniors, and researchers have found that increasing Social Security benefits has a large, immediate, and significant positive impact on spending. In fact, there is a nearly 1-to-1 ratio between an increase in Social Security benefits and an increase in consumer spending, which means increasing these benefits will bring an enormous boost to the economy very fast.
Finally, on addressing the debt limit. Madam President, on debt limit, the Republicans are doing a dine and dash of historic proportions.
For when the combined trust funds that pay retirement, survivors, and disability benefits will deplete their reserves to 2034, 1 year earlier than had been projected last year. At that point, 78% of Social Security benefits would be payable, so changes to fix the program could include tax increases, benefit cuts, or a combination of both. But so far, Republicans and Democrats have not agreed on a way to approach the issue. One planned on the Democratic side is called the Social Security 2100 Act. It was last introduced in 2019 and had 209 co-sponsors. Plus, the newest petition calling for additional stimulus check reads, plus there is a new online petition calling for an additional $1,400 stimulus check, as well as an increase to the Social Security benefits. Everybody tell me in the comments below, will President Biden do a better job in helping out our Americans? Leave your thoughts in the comments below, everybody. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe.
Finally, on addressing the debt limit. Madam President, on debt limit, the Republicans are doing a dine and dash of historic proportions that hurts the American people and hurts our country. In the immediate future, both parties will have to come together to allow the federal government to continue its most important responsibility, paying the bills and making good on our outstanding obligations. A few minutes ago, I joined with Speaker Pelosi in announcing that the continuing resolution that we'll take up to avoid a government shutdown will also include a suspension of the debt limit through December of 2022, allowing us to meet our obligations and preserve the full faith and credit of these United States of America. Suspending the debt limit through December of 2022 provides an amount of time commensurate with the debt that was incurred as a result of the $908 billion emergency relief bill last year. That was a bill that was passed when Donald Trump was president. Leader McConnell was the majority leader of the Senate. It was passed under Republican leadership. That is the debt we are paying in this bill. The legislation that funded this $908 billion in relief was supported by more than 40 Republicans and signed into law by President Trump. So anyone who says this is Democratic debt is not talking fact. They're talking fiction. Both sides have a responsibility to pay for the debt that we've already incurred. It's always been done in a bipartisan way. Unfortunately, last week, Leader McConnell announced that the Senate Republicans are inclined to deliberately turn their back on their obligations. When asked if Republicans would block an extension of the debt limit, Leader McConnell amazingly and cravenly said that Republicans are united in opposition to raising the debt ceiling. Shame. This is the same Leader McConnell who urged Democrats and Republicans to support raising the debt ceiling when Donald Trump was president and he was majority leader. And he always comes up with some sophistry as to why it's different, but everyone knows it's not different. In fact, Democrats supported 3 times raising the debt ceiling when Trump was president. And if my recollection is right, at least one of those times was when the House, the Senate, and the presidency were controlled by Republicans. Should Republicans careen our country towards a default, our country could actually be plunged into recession, laying off millions, making it harder for people to pay for the food on the table and their mortgages and their rents. Shame, shame on the leader, the Republican leader. As Secretary Yellen put it just days ago, failure to raise the debt limit would have absolutely catastrophic economic consequences and would precipitate a financial crisis. A default would risk sending interest rates sky high across the board, hurting consumers, small businesses, and our country's ability